Caitlin Clark's golf debut just made me so upset with the WNBA.
Man.
The WNBA is undoubtedly kicking itself at the moment, man. It's also sort of crazy to see, to be honest. The LPGA just took over and demonstrated to the world how to handle a celebrity like Caitlin Clark. It's not her fault that people are outraged about this whole thing.
Now, from this event, I have only seen and heard of positive things. I didn't hear one thing about how her fans are toxic. I didn't hear one thing about there being too much spotlight on Caitlin Clark, and it should have maybe been on the professional golfers that are there. We didn't hear any of that. And those are the types of things that we have been hearing for the entirety of the WNBA season.
The LPGA really gave Clark the red carpet treatment. They treated her with the deference and consideration she was due. The WNBA is presumably just sitting there scratching their own nails and wondering how they made such a huge mess of things.
Originally wasn't even going to be televised, but there were so many fans who were emailing the organization saying, how can we watch Caitlin? Can we come to the event?
Isn't that crazy? Does it make a difference if she drains threes or sinks putts? She is really popular among her fans. Her supporters virtually took over social media when she dominated that latest golf event, calling for a TV special just to watch her hit the ball.
So the LPGA event is expanding its pro-am coverage around Caitlin Clark's participation. Golf Channel's Golf Today will begin 90 minutes early on Wednesday and include live look-ins. It has also been said that you will get to see Caitlin Clark's warm-up.
The LPGA recognized that star power and electrifying excitement, and they offered Caitlin an offer she couldn't refuse. Here's the problem, though. At this point, Kathy Angelbert and the WNBA are essentially forced to eat humble pie. Their biggest star was completely mismanaged by them. To be honest, they gave her the opportunity to shine elsewhere.
The LPGA tour had Caitlin Clark play, and the LPGA, fans, the event was taken over by the ominous crowd that made sure to go get angry at everything Caitlin Clark did.
Here's the LPGA, too. They are obviously marketing experts. They took full advantage of the opportunity and invited Clark, the unstoppable force in women's basketball, to a golf event. They seem to have discovered a covert marketing tool that no one was even aware existed. Even the most hopeful event planners could not have imagined the magnitude of the gold mine that suddenly erupted out of this whole affair.
So there are photos of Caitlin and Nelly literally everywhere, and the LPGA was so smart in doing this because they knew that there would be so many eyeballs on Caitlin. So if they put their number one golfer, who is currently leading the sport and pushing the sport ahead, if they put her next to Caitlin for the entire event, that's just great. It's great for Nelly and it's great for everyone else.
The odd thing is that things start to get fascinating at this point. There wasn't even a suggestion to air Caitlin's golf appearance on television before to the event. However, as Clark's horde of admirers took to social media, they began clamoring for the release of all of her swings. The LPGA is not stupid. After listening, they hurried to get it on the air and made a last-minute call that completely changed the course of events. And what do you know? Unbelievably, their wild risk paid off. That golf event transformed from a peaceful day on the course to a phenomenon that made headlines.
The LPGA, you can see when it came to them that they were happy that Caitlin Clark was there. They knew exactly the value that Caitlin Clark brought.
Let's now discuss how, simply by entering a golf course, one basketball player essentially stole the show from every other women's sport. Clark's magic touch made her performance so fascinating that it literally brought the LPGA to a level of prominence often associated with much larger sports. Everyone was drawn in by her golf swing and amazing personality, including casual watchers and ardent basketball fans. The excitement was so intense that you could almost feel it vibrating through your phone screen.
There was so much buzz online. She was trending on Twitter, all of the things. And the LPGA was promoting the crap out of this event.
Now, don't assume that Caitlin and Nelly Korda's relationship was a coincidental one. That right there was a fantastic strategic matchup. The LPGA was fully aware of their actions. It was pure marketing genius to pair her with the top golfer in the world. Furthermore, Images of them together were so widely shared that it was impossible to browse Instagram or Twitter for more than a second without seeing Caitlyn and Nellie's faces.
Through the whole event, they saw how important it was that new fans were getting involved in golf, especially women.
The way this moment came to be is quite amazing. By adding Caitlyn, the LPGA executed the ultimate power play. They increased awareness of the entire sport and attracted Clark's enormous basketball fan following. Suddenly, those who wouldn't often watch golf were glued to their televisions. The LPGA demonstrated to everyone that you can completely engage and pique the interest of a brand new audience with the correct approach.
She said what she has done for women's sports and basketball, and to have her at our golf tournament, I mean, I'm like in awe. I've got a basketball and hoping she signs it for my girls. But how cool for her to come out and support us this week and only help grow women's golf.
This is where things become even more intriguing. You see, the LPGA wasn't merely following Caitlyn's lead. They turned it into a full-fledged sports marketing masterwork. They weren't concerned about playing it safe or overshadowing anyone. Rather, they simply accepted Clark's star power wholeheartedly. In a world where women's sports are constantly vying for attention, the LPGA just gave a workshop on how to do it correctly, and it was incredibly successful.
WNBA, when it came to Caitlyn Clark, it was a lot of like, we don't need you and we were good before and we don't like your fans. And
when Caitlyn Clark made her golf debut, the LPGA played a social media game. Like when a rock star walks up out of the blue at your backyard barbecue, it was a full-on celebration. You know, the LPGA essentially took over the internet on September 19th, 2025. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it. They were all buzzing. There are countless pictures of Caitlyn and Nellie Korda beaming, recordings of Clark's golf swing that would likely make Tiger Woods gasp, and clips of her signing autographs, as if she were the star of some sports fan festival.
From this event, I have only seen and heard of positive things. I didn't hear one thing about how her fans are toxic. I didn't hear one thing about there being too much spotlight on Caitlyn Clark and it should have maybe been on the professional golfers that are there. We didn't hear any of that. And those are the types of things that we have been hearing for the entirety of the WNBA season.
Additionally, let me tell you that social media activity simply exploded. Her devoted fans gobbled it up. Millions of people watched videos of Clark's swing in the blink of an eye. At one time, there were so many posts about her on Twitter that a celebrity controversy involving Clark's golf debut was going around. The LPGA was really skilled at using its marketing cards. Suddenly, those who had never considered watching golf were engrossed in their televisions. Furthermore, these social media messages were doing more than merely garnering notice. They were snatching it, even taking precedence over some of the day's most important men's sports stories. That is a masterclass in marketing.
Now,
like they did everything they could to sabotage their own league. And yeah, it backfired. For me anyway, I think it's hard to argue that it didn't completely backfire for them because Caitlyn Clark is more popular than ever.
As the LPGA was soaking in all the hoopla and nearly swimming in engagement metrics, the WNBA, the league that essentially seemed to take a digital vacation during this entire spectacle, comes into play. There was no word from the WNBA. Not a single story or tweet about Caitlyn Clark, even while she was attracting a lot of new followers to women's sports. This was more than a simple marketing error. To be honest, that was a huge slap in the face to all of the devoted WNBA fans who have supported her through it all.
But the WNBA posted nothing. Posted zero about Caitlyn Clark golfing in this Pro-Am event.
The problem is that Caitlyn Clark is more than just a flimsy athlete. She has been a scoring machine since her freshman year at Iowa in 2025, averaging about 28 points per game, and every spectacular highlight she delivers leaves spectators in awe. The WNBA should be all over her, wouldn't they? Particularly on March 26th, when she became the first player in NCAA history to record a triple-double with a score of 40.0 and 0 assists in a tournament game. However, the WNBA's response was not more than a whisper, even when ESPN was giving her the red carpet treatment. The fans were incensed. They were pleading with the league to promote her on social media. However, it seems like the WNBA simply had more important things to do.
And this was the perfect opportunity for the WNBA to do, like, have you seen it when an NBA player or a football player, like, goes to an NBA game or goes to wherever and they'll be in the comments or they'll just say something, like something cute? This was the perfect time for the WNBA to also be posting about this.
Critics have therefore been speculating for some time that the WNBA's reluctance to fully promote Clark stems from this strange apprehension. They believe that concentrating too much on a single player could annoy the league's current stars. But really, in today's sports environment, where celebrity power is crucial, that is a completely illogical strategy. Look, the NBA's entire empire was formed by including cultural icons like Steph Curry and LeBron James. In contrast, the WNBA's extremely cautious strategy seems to be from a completely different age.
If you look at the LPGA Twitter account, it is filled with Caitlin Clark things. Photos of her, a whole video of the fans cheering her, signing things, taking photos, their players hanging out with Caitlin, and obviously they're showing their golfers as
Everyone is aware that by dismissing Clark's influence, the WNBA is genuinely hurting itself. There is so much more to Caitlin Clark than just her skill as a player. With more than 750,000 social media followers and a fan base that could revitalize any sports league, she is a living, talking, shooting brand. However, the WNBA acts as though her promotion will bring about an apocalyptic scenario. It is seriously harming the league and may even have an effect on soon-to-be stars like Paige Buckers. What hope is there for the upcoming generation, if the league is unable to capitalize on someone as revolutionary as Clark?
This was the perfect opportunity for the WNBA to do, like, have you seen it when an NBA player or a football player, like, goes to an NBA game or goes to wherever and they'll be in the comments or they'll just say something, like something cute? This was the perfect time for the WNBA to also be posting about this.
To be honest, the manner the LPGA treated Clark exemplifies exactly what happens when a league truly gets its act together. They did more than just greet her. They put on a show. The kicker is this, though. Fans and experts are almost pleading for change, but the WNBA is still mired in its own universe and is tenaciously adhering to these very antiquated marketing strategies. They will continue to lose out on fantastic opportunities if they don't wake up quickly.